Hey everybody, back again, and today we're going to be taking a fork and making an arrowhead. We made a spoon last time into a broadhead. Today we're going to take a fork, we're actually going to stick it in the forge, we're going to twist the two central tines together, and we're going to bend the other ones out. I'm just curious as to how this is going to function. There's only one way to find out. I've never seen anyone else try to make a fork into an arrowhead. I've seen the spoon arrowhead thing, that's what gave me the idea to do it. On shorts, just randomly scrolling through. I've seen it one or two times. So let's see what happens when we do a twisted fork tine arrowhead. See what we can come up with. So first let's get these two outer tines just out of the way. Bend these back forward. We're kind of going for like a trident arrowhead here. So like I said before, super simple little trident kind of design. You'll definitely still be able to tell it was a fork when it's on the arrow, but it'll look pretty wild, and I'm interested to see how this functions. I figured why not? These are just experimental arrows anyway, so why not kind of create my own odd design here and see how this functions. Just making our groove, just cutting this split in here so we can fit the thing up from our fork. Like thusly. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and epoxy and twine wrap this sucker together, and we'll go ahead and test fire it. So we've got our arrowhead all epoxied and twine wrapped into our arrow shaft, I should say. I'm interested to see how this performs. These points on here, these are probably sharper. These two are probably quite a bit sharper than the central ones, even though the central ones are a little thinner, just because they're twisted together. But when we test this, I'm very intrigued as to how this is going to function. Are my tines just going to snap right off? Are they going to function properly? I'm sure it's probably not going to make it past this line, or maybe even this line where these broaden out most of the time, just because of the way that the force transfer is going to work on this. We've got our arrow all attached and glued together. Now it's time to do some function tests. Let's see how this weird critter here works. We're going to start off shooting at 20 yards. Go take a look at what it did. That looks like a nasty little bugger. So it stopped right at the point that those bends start. So right where these bends start here on our arrow, it stopped. So it looks like that's the point that the mast is going to come to a complete stop with. And that's it's a pretty nasty little thing to get poked with. This would be great for like birds or fish. Let's get you guys a couple shots of it hitting the target so you can see how it impacts. Well, this little fork arrow is holding up better than I expected so far. Let's throw something a little harder at it. Wow, that one actually stuck. And it poked through on all three prongs. It does look like it bent one of them. Let's see. Yep. Kind of bent that one out a little bit as it went through the wood. That's okay. I can just bend that back with my hand there. Not too bad. Let's get you guys some long shot footage just so you guys can see how this flies like usual. So that little fork arrow performs pretty cool. As expected, it doesn't really pass those prongs. So if you're worried about over penetration, or you're looking for something that's like a bow fishing or you know, apocalypse bird hunting arrow. This little guy does a pretty good job. I wouldn't use it for, you know, anything aside from that, but it's a pretty cool little arrowhead. Not bad for a fork. This might bust this arrowhead. It might not, since it survived so well on the wood. I know it's probably going to bend the tines, but that's okay. That's easy to fix. Let's see if we can hit the leather on our soft target here. See what it does to some leather at 25 yards and a soft target behind it. This will give us a really good representation of what we're expecting if we're hunting a thicker skinned small game animal. That is assuming I can hit it at this distance. Get hit on the neck up here where it's all curved and just deflect it right off. So we're gonna have to hit it on the flat spot for sure. Hit up high again and deflect it right off. Just above where we want to hit. Punctured the plastic that time. Keep hitting high. Gotta hit there, not up here. Finally. And it went through the leather and into our bottle. Bent the tine pretty good. Bent both those tines out pretty good, but it punched a nice half-inch through the leather on that tine that bent. Easy enough to fix. You just kind of squeeze it back into shape. Since this is mild steel, it's not exactly super hard, but you can see right there 2 holes through where the leather was from those 2 prongs, that central one and the other one on the side. Let's try it without the leather, see if it makes a difference. Yeah, that's what we're looking at there. That central tine went all the way into here, and it stopped right where that bend on that other tine was. This is definitely like a fishing arrow. So we got an armor-piercing bodkin, a hunting arrow broadhead, and a bird and trout tine head, spearhead kind of weird critter. 2 of these are made out of silverware. Obviously, these all perform differently. If you guys want to see how I made either one of these other 2 arrows, go check out the archery playlist and scroll down to where you see these arrows. They were all test fired out of this 100-pound to 12-inch little war bow I made. If you want to see how I made this, check out the PVC war bow. This thing would pull at 240 pounds at 28 inches if I was strong enough to do such a thing, but I can only get it back to the 100-pound mark as I sit right now. So that's where we shoot at. So that way we have a consistent, you know, platform to shoot these different arrows out of. I'm gonna shoot all 3 at the target just so I can show you guys the difference in how they impact. And I'm gonna go ahead and step back to 25 yards where I've been shooting from. That was dumb luck, or that was because I've been shooting so much. So this guy only goes into the tines here. That's why I say it's for bird and trout. This guy buries all the way past the blade to about there on its bundle. So this would be better for rabbits and turkey and other small game like that. And then there's this monster, which penetrates way deep. And this is a anti-armored person device. If you've seen the short where I shot the trash can lid with it, you'll see what I mean. In fact, let me show you guys real quick. This is what the bodkin was made to do. It's made to punch 2 inches through armor and get the guy behind the armor. Be that far into whatever it hit. That does it for today's video. If you guys like what you've seen, you know what to do. Do the thing right there. And until next time, God bless. Stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom sharp object, don't forget to check out the Etsy store.